Hello, my name is Amrinder Singh. I am a iOS developer. Today we are starting our video about the conditional statement. In last video session we was learned about the basics of Swift language and we was learned about the variables and classes, right? So today let's start about the conditional statement. So what is a conditional statement? The conditional statement allow us to execute a certain block of code only when certain conditions are met. For example, let's start. Okay, so we have a if else statement, and in if else statement we can do a nested if else. And now let's start it with if else statement. So what here is the syntax for if statement. So first in Swift we have a keyword called if, then we can add here any condition. So in condition we have to write like if we want to check, suppose this is we have a one variable of type boolean, the name is on. If we want to check here like if is on equals to true, right? So what we done is here, so we added a condition with keyword if, then variable is on, then this is a operator, and this is the value where we are checking with that value, right? And this is the block of code. If this gets true, if this statement can get true, then the block will execute, right? So what is an conditional operators? In Swift we have a multiple conditional operators called equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, and a ternary operators, right? So we used here equal to operator, right? So let's print here on called, suppose, right? Now let's execute it. Okay, so it's executing. Let's wait here. Okay, done. So it called, it printed the on call, right? If we write here as a false, we are checking is on variables value with the false. What we are saying here, if the is on equal to false, then what you can do, then you can print on called. Now let's check by executing. You can see here it doesn't print on called. So if we know the condition is getting a false, and if we want to write some code, if the statement goes into a false statement, so what we can do here, we can use here else statement. It's an else. Now with else what we can do, on called, on is not called, right? Let's check it. Now you can see the first our condition gets false, then this block is not executed, then by default it is going into a else case, right? So it printed the on is not called, right? I hope you understand this, right? So now we in statements we have a nested if else. So suppose this is our first condition. We can do here inside of one block we can add another condition like if is on is equals to true, suppose, and then you can print nested called nested on, right? Else print called nested off, right? Let's check this. So first of all we know this value is true and we are comparing here with false, so this will not call, right? So first we add here true to see. Okay, called nested on. So what happened here? It executed with checking the condition. This it is checking now here, if the is on equal to true, we know that is true, and then it is checking is if is on equals to true, then you can print called nested on. It called, right, because the value is true. It is not called because the first value gets true. So the another way to write this, if we cannot check this, so by default we know this is a true. Basically in condition we want to write any type of code which will execute and then returns the value as a true or false. We know this is already a boolean value and already default is it's a true. So if we are adding now condition here, if is on, that means if true, then you can execute this, otherwise this, right? So this is also working fine, right? Okay, so we learned here if else and nested if else. Now let's go into a switch statement. So what is a switch statement? This is also based on conditional statement, where we can use keyword switch, and then here we can switch any value. Suppose is on, and then okay, so now you can see here we have here two cases. One is if it's a true, then execute your code called is on is true by switch, right? Okay, now here on is false by switch, right? Now let's check this. Okay, is on is true by switch because the value is true, right? If we can add here not equal to, then let's see, this is our second operator. Is on is false by switch because we added here the conditional output is false, right? Okay, so now we have third less than. Now to check less than, we can write here code if 9 is less than 10, then print here 9 is less than, right? And if else, we can print here 9 is greater than, right? Okay, let's check this. Actually Swift is very clever and it's automatically given us one warning like this line will never be executed, because they know this is always gets false, because we know 9 is, this condition will gets true because the 9 is always less than, right? So if we write here, if we create variable a equal to 9, it's type of integer, and we can check here a, and variable we can see here b, and we can call this 10, right? Oh sorry, b, a is less than b, right? Okay, so now if we want to see here greater than, then we just write here greater than and check it. Okay, 9 is greater than, right? Because we know 9 is greater than, but this is wrong, right? Because 9 is not greater than 10, but we written this statement is like this. Okay, let's do here b is greater than, but if a is, then print a is greater than 10 is greater than, right? So we printed the correct value. Okay, now let's check with less than equal to. So this first we will check with greater than equal to. Okay, greater than equal to, then 10 is greater than, because it means if the any of one condition gets true, we added here two conditions, right? One is if a is greater than b, or if a is equal to b, then this will get executed, right? Like right now if we do 9 is less than, so it prints the this blow. By why? Because the a is not greater than b, but a is equal to b, right? So that's why it printed the first it executed the first blow, right? Okay, so now let's check with ternary operator. So what is a ternary? It's basically a single line. We can add any condition into single line. So let's suppose a variable less than value. It's a variable of type integer, and now we can add here a is less than b, then we can write here string, because we will return string. So here we are assigning if first we are checking, like if a is less than b, then return a is less than, right? Otherwise you can write here b is less than. So this is called a ternary. Okay, now let's check print less than value. Okay, let's see, b is less than, because actually what is done, what here happening, a is less than, no, because a is equal to the b, otherwise this is else part executed. So basically you can see here it is in ternary operator, it is checking first condition, like a is less than b. Here we know it is not less than, but it is equal to. So first statement goes false, then by default it executed to the second statement, right? Okay, so I hope you understand this. So in this video tutorial we was learned about the conditional operators. If please do subscribe my channel for the future videos, and if you have any query, please add your comments below. Thanks.